各位记者朋友，大家下午好，欢迎。
Good afternoon and welcome to today's press conference. First, an announcement. At the invitation of President of the Republic of the Congo, Denis Sassou Nguesso, President Xi Jinping's special envoy and Vice Chairperson of the CPPCC National Committee, Xiao Hong, will attend the inauguration of President Sassou Nguesso on April 16th. Now the floor is open to questions.
谢谢发言人，我是凤凰卫视的记者。据报道，美军中央司
Phoenix TV is reported that the U.S. military announced blockade against all vessels entering and departing Iranian ports and coastal areas. Iran's parliament speaker said the country will not bow to any threats. IRGC has warned military vessels not to approach the Strait of Hormuz. Tracking data said that commercial shipping through the strait ground to a halt on the night of April the 13th. What's your comment? With the temporary ceasefire agreement reached by relevant parties still in place, the United States ramped up military deployment and resorted to a targeted blockade. This will only aggravate confrontation, escalate tension, undermine the already fragile ceasefire, and further jeopardize safe passage through the strait. It is a dangerous and irresponsible move. China believes that only a complete ceasefire can fundamentally create conditions for easing the situation. We urge relevant parties to honor the ceasefire arrangement, stick to the direction of peace talks, and take concrete actions to de-escalate the situation in the region so that normal traffic via the Strait of Hormuz will be able to resume as soon as possible. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。新华社记者提问：中方发布了莫桑比克总统。
Xinhua News Agency, to follow up on your announcement of President of Mozambique's visit to China, could you share the arrangements and China's expectation for the visit, and how does China view its current relations with the country? It is President Chapo's first visit to China since he took office. During the visit, President Xi Jinping will hold a welcome ceremony and banquet for him, and the two presidents will hold talks together. Premier Li Qiang, NPC Chairman Zhao Leji will meet with him, and the President will also visit Hunan and Xinhai. China and Mozambique enjoy long-lasting friendship for more than 5 decades since the establishment of diplomatic ties. Despite the changing international landscape, China-Mozambique friendship has emerged stronger, and the two countries have deepened political mutual trust with fruitful cooperation and closer cooperation in international and regional issues. It is believed that the visit will promote in-depth development of the bilateral ties and help build a all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future for the new era and reinforce solidarity and cooperation among global South countries. Next one, please.
Thank you. Question from AFP. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance said in an interview yesterday that it is now up to Iran to make the next move towards restarting talks. What is China's comment on this, and what does it think should be the next step to resolving the war? Thank you.
是在伊朗这一方，中方对此有何回应？
The ceasefire situation is very fragile, and we are at a critical point. The priority is to stop the reigniting of the flames of the war and maintain the hard-won momentum of ceasefire. All parties need to resort to diplomatic and political means for the resolution of the issue. China will continue to work with relevant parties to play a constructive role and make our effort for an early restoration of peace and stability in the region. Next one, please.
谢谢中国日报提问。4月10日，中国民众
China Daily. On April 10th, China's Ministry of Civil Affairs published the 6th batch of names that should be used for places in Jiangnan. 2 days later, the spokesperson for India's Ministry of External Affairs expressed rejection to China assigning names to places in Arunachal Pradesh, adding that these actions detract from ongoing efforts to stabilize bilateral ties. What's your comment? Jiangnan is China's territory. China never recognizes the so-called Arunachal Pradesh illegally set up by India. It is fully within China's sovereign rights for the Chinese government to standardize the names of some parts of Jiangnan. China and India enjoy overall steady relations at the moment. China's policy of continuing to improve China-India relations has not changed. We hope the two sides will work in the same direction and act more in ways conducive to bilateral relations.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
Hi, a question from Bloomberg. A U.S.-sanctioned oil tanker, the Rich Starry, is currently leaving the Strait of Hormuz and signaling that it has Chinese owners and crew. Does the Foreign Ministry have any comment on the situation? Can it confirm the ship does indeed have a Chinese crew? And is the Foreign Ministry in contact with the U.S. about its announced blockade? And finally, is the Foreign Ministry trying to protect the ship and its crew in the event of a U.S. naval intervention? Thank you.
我不了解。
I'm not familiar with the specific that you mentioned. Let me stress that only by ending the war and realizing peace and stability in the Gulf region can we fundamentally uphold safe and unimpeded passage at the Strait of Hormuz. China urges relevant parties to observe ceasefire arrangement, focus on the general direction of dialogue and peace talks, take concrete actions for de-escalation, and restore normal passage at the strait as soon as possible.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
谢谢发言人彭湃新闻提问。据报道，美军计划在菲律宾
The paper is reported that U.S. military is planning to build a fuel depot in the Philippines. Some said that it aims to strengthen the replenishment and logistics capability in the Western Pacific of the U.S. military and serves as an important part of its Indo-Pacific defense strategy in preparation for a potential conflict. What's your comment on that? As the world is witnessing intertwined transformation and turbulence and being battered by unilateralism and military bullying, the hard-won development and stability in the Asia-Pacific brooks no disruption from any party. Certain country is setting up military bases around the world and building up arms and fuel storage and making combat preparations. This has heightened the risk of regional military confrontation and has put regional countries on high alert. If certain country in the region continues to unscrupulously seek support from external countries, it will only backfire. We urge relevant countries to earnestly respect the common aspiration of the regional countries for peace, development, and stability, and do more things conducive to regional peace and stability instead of the other way around.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
发言人您好，人民日报记者提问：近日有媒体报道称，中国向伊朗提供军事支持。美国总统特朗普
People's Daily. It's reported that China has provided military support to Iran and Trump threatened 50% of tariffs on China if Beijing is caught providing weapons to Iran. What's your comment? We've previously stated our position. Let me stress again that China always acts prudently and responsibly on the export of military products and exercises strict control in accordance with China's laws and regulations on export control and due international obligations. The report you mentioned is purely fabricated. If the U.S. is hell-bent on using it as an excuse to hike tariffs on China, we will take resolute countermeasures.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。中新社记者提问：今天下午，韩国外交部发言人表示，韩国
China News Service. The Foreign Ministry of the ROK said that in accordance with documents between China and the ROK and its position that the ROK government recognizes the PRC as the sole legal government of China and there's only one China in the world, it has decided to streamline procedures for e-visa applications and deleted all other options and only left Taiwan as the only option for destination and previous departure options. Some ROK media said that the Taiwan authorities has expressed dissatisfaction over the decision by the ROK Foreign Ministry. What's your comment on that? Let me reiterate that the joint communique on the establishment of diplomatic ties between China and the ROK stipulates that the ROK government recognizes the PRC government as the sole legal government of China and respects the position that there is only one China in the world and Taiwan is part of China. President Li Zaiming early this year took an interview of Chinese media and paid a state visit to China, during which he clearly stated that he respects the one China position. Taiwan is part of China, and it's only natural for it to be labeled as China's Taiwan. China's position on the Taiwan question is clear and consistent. The One China principle is a basic norm in international relations and a prevailing international consensus. It is also the political foundation for China to establish and develop diplomatic ties with countries around the world, including the ROK and other organizations in the world. We hope that the ROK government can fully recognize that the Taiwan question concerns the sentiments of 1.4 billion Chinese people. Upholding the spirit of the joint communique between China and the ROK, observing the One China principle, opposing and rejecting all forms of Taiwan independence should be upheld by the ROK side, and the ROK needs to work with China to take concrete actions for the sound and steady growth of our bilateral ties.